Hi there, it's Caller When the Common Magician, and I've got something interesting to share with you. It's no secret to people that frequent this channel that I love experiments in probability. I love it. So I've got a little experiment to do. We've got some coins here, and these could be borrowed coins or they could be examined coins that could be passed out. And we're going to take each one of these coins and place them into a glass. And this can be done one person at a time to verify test case scenario here. Okay, so we've got a bunch of coins, and what we're going to do is we're going to dump them out. We're going to make random selection, and you make all the choices here. We'll take them, we'll dump them out, and we see we've got a couple possibilities here. We'll make a pile, a couple of piles, and what I want you to do is just pick a pile to isolate. Which pile would you like to isolate here for our experiment? And it doesn't matter. Let's say you go with this one. So we'll banish this pile to quarantine. We'll get that one out of the way. We have a few more coins here. I don't know. Pick two coins to remove. 2 coins to remove. Let's say you remove those two. Very good. And from that, we have to get just one coin. One coin. Just push one back. Let's say push that one back. That's it. Okay, so this is our coin, and I just want to be very, very fair about this. We've got what we got here. We've got 2001 State of New York. 2001 State of New York. Now I want you to watch this very carefully. This is a clear glass. Shake, and we're going to dump. And it ends up over here on the side. It is heads. You can see there, it is heads. Okay, heads. Now, the probability that we do this again is 50-50, right? Once you've hit one, the probability that you repeat it is 50-50. So we'll try this again. Again, clear glass. Very fair. Heads. Right to it. Heads. Now, each time you do it, the probability is 50-50. But in the long run, the probability should decrease that we continuously hit heads, right? That was 2. Heads. 3. Heads. 4. Heads. 5. Oh, almost tails. I saw it flash. Heads. 6. Heads. 7. 3 more. 3 more. Oh, it's sitting on the edge. Let's roll that one again. Heads. 8. Heads. 9. One more. Again, it's 50-50 every time. Ah! It's funny. It landed tails and then it flipped over. Heads. There we go. That's 10 in a row, all heads. And that's a little experiment in probability. So I wanted to discuss this with you about how to do this kind of experiment with borrowed coins. And it's just something that Darren Brown did on a special years ago where he was talking about probability and teaching. And the way that it was accomplished was that it was just recorded over and over and over again until he got a string of 10 in a row that were the same, right? And you could assume that I've just recorded this video until I have this figured out. But actually what I used was a Sanada gimmick. I used a Sanada gimmick in a cooperation with a coin, which I may have dropped on the floor. No, here it is. With a coin that is double-headed. So this is a double-headed coin, and I put a little spot on the eye of George Washington in both. with a marker so I could identify it just on sight very easily. And I have 7 coins here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have 7 coins that can be examined, or get 7 coins or something close to it, in experimenting with this, I found that adding 1 to 6 was obvious, but adding 1 to 7 to make it 8 was not. Anything under 6 was a little bit more obvious, but adding 1 to 7 was a lot more easy to disguise. And what I did is I just had, from the very beginning, I had my coin behind my Sanada gimmick and sitting in plain sight. And then whenever I picked up the coins or collect them from people, you see a clear glass, an empty hand, right? And people can put these coins in. Now, I got a glimpse of one. I know that there's one 2001 New York coin in there, and I could have picked any one that has a New York on the back side, not the eagle. And then I just claim later on that the double-headed coin is that. It's a miscall. So you can see this very fair test case kind of scenario. And when I dump the coins out onto the mat, all I do is I lift my finger to dump out the double-headed coin with the other coins. At this point, I can ditch the Sanada gimmick. I'm actually done with it at that point. And all I need to do is look down at the coins. I note the one that's got the spot on George Washington's eye. And then whenever I make a division, when I divide these out, I just want to make sure that I have that coin. I know which side that's in. Okay, so I know it's over here. I want to get to this pile, and then it's pure equivoque. I say, let's isolate a pile. Now, isolation is a good word. Isolation is a great word because it doesn't have an application, and I don't have to fabricate an application either, because isolate can mean isolate for use or isolate to remove. It's both, or to omit. So I don't actually have to nuance the term in any way. This is kind of rubbing against something that I know the Jerks has written about previously, years ago. He wrote about what he called third wave equivoque. This is kind of a third wave concept, and I've been working on putting together a document myself that I may publish on creating a system of terms that can be used in equivoque through series to narrow down really any number of things. And do it very smoothly and very freely. So this is a word where I can say, which one do you want to isolate? Do you want to change your mind? It doesn't matter. And they pick, and if they say, great, we'll isolate these ones here, and then I can discard. And I don't say discard, I just move them. Or they say isolate, I say, great, we'll banish this to quarantine, right? Because that's what the term means. Now I've got 4 coins, and I can say, which 2 would you like to remove? Remove is another kind of third wave equivoque term. It doesn't really mean omit or discard. Remove just means to set apart or to take out from a group. So they can remove maybe these 2, and I can slide them forward. That's the target coin. And then I can wipe away these. These are the 2 they removed from the pile. And then I say push back 1. Now this is more classic equivoque, where I'm going to assign a meaning to it at the end. But up till this point, I've been fairly free. So you can kind of mix in a hybrid way some of these third wavy kind of terms, and then incorporate some of the more classic terms, and then apply an application. Doesn't matter what they do. If they push this one back, I'm going to keep it. If they push this one back, I'll get rid of it without discussion. Now I'm very free. I can pick it up and I miscall. I say, this is looks like a 2001 New York coin, and I drop this very cleanly into the glass, and now I'm always going to roll 10. The best part of this is actually in the presentation. It's not in the method. The method's a double-headed coin, but the presentation works like this. Anytime I dump and it does something unusual like that, it hit and then bounced, I can say, oh, it was almost tails, but it flipped to heads. Okay, and this adds to the believability. This is why presentation is so much more important than method. This is a great example. I want to miscall what is happening as a convincing element to the reality and truthfulness or truthiness of the moment, right? This is obviously a coin that's been examined. It's been a test case situation selected down to this point. I can just drive this even further by adding nuanced descriptions of what's going on that will help to just embed the reality of this, even though it is not. truthful, right? So that's really the game. And I can roll 10 of these. There'll always be heads, and then it's simple at the end. I can ditch this by more classic means. I can pick up, false transfer, drop over here, ditch onto my lap, and I'm good to go, or pocket it or whatever. And now I can hand these back. I can put them in the glass and have everyone take one coin until all the coins are gone. And somebody out there will have the coin that I talked about. Somebody out there is going to have a New York 2001 coin, and that will be verifiable at the end. So just another use for the Sanada gimmick to hold out and then ring in a very, very simple way into a group of objects that can be identified and then used in some kind of purpose. You could ring in a steel coin and use a magnet to withhold that coin or get it out inside of a bag. A lot of options there in terms of what you might ring in. It could be a billet, could be a paper ball billet that you dump out of a glass after you've selected some things, and if it's marked in a certain way, it can be selected randomly and a prediction made. And from a group of people, nobody knows who put what in, if it's secret items. Just pure kind of mentalism, but a cleanliness in test case situation where hands are free, clear glass. There's no way that you could have introduced something, could be sleeves rolled up, whatever. There's no way you could have introduced an additional item to it, but yet you did using this little handy gimmick. So that's another concept for the Sanada gimmick, bringing in some kind of stranger element that can be used for in its own method or some other kind of prediction or revelation. So there you have it, a little bit on Equivoque, a little bit more on the Sanada gimmick. Double-headed coin, we have never talked about that kind of gimmick before. The subject of probability. And this is great because it is a very cerebral effect. It's not like a magical thing where I have to explain or leave in the open some kind of unexplained phenomenon. This is a probability exercise. No one else could really go do this very easily in the moment. Just roll 10 right from the start or drop 10 and get exactly 10 in a row. Highly improbable to do that, but a fun exercise, and people can go try that on their own. And here it was. It happened this time as I predicted or suggested. So good luck with that, and happy magicking.